Hey there. Yeah, it's been a while since my last video. I know I said I would do it every few days or weekly, and the thing that I didn't realize when I made that commitment was that in the process of finding myself and remembering and coming to terms with things that have happened, I didn't realize the impact that it was going to take on me emotionally and physically. Um, Spend some time in bed, spend some time alone. And it's been a struggle to get up and get out of the house and be around people. But I'm back. I'm back. We're going to get there. Yeah, I cut my hair. Kind of like it was kind of a release of a few things when I got rid of some of the hair. Anyway, so last video was talking about mom, and there's a lot of things I forgot. And when I picked up the tablet, I thought to myself, phooey. I should have made notes, but I didn't, so I'm going to wing it, and whatever I forget, I'll talk about in the next video. So, back to mom real quick. I think I'm fiercely protective over people I love and defend them to the hilt until I find out they didn't deserve it. Because mom never defended me. Whatever happened in my life, she would look at me and she'd say, well, what did you do to cause it? And, on top of that, I think I settled for so much less in both of my last two major relationships because nothing I ever had to say was important to her. And if she did listen to anything I had to say, she scrutinized it to the bone and tried to pick it apart and tried to find, the lie, tried to find the falsehood, so it gets to the point where you have nothing to say. And that's, I think, how my marriage was. And definitely that's how my relationship with, what did I say we would call him, George? I think that's the relationship I had with George. Nothing I had to say was important. I would say to him, oh, this was on the news. That's not important. Before I could even get the words out. Anyway, we'll get to that. The other thing I don't remember if I said to you about mom was, and you got to remember this for when I get to George. She would buy me things and then she would take it away or she would tear it apart. Clothes, books, anything. My car, which I understand the car, but, other little things that I loved. One day she came into my room and she tore apart my plants. And when I moved out into my first apartment, I said, well, I need to go to the DMV. I need to change my driver's license. I need to change the address on my checkbook. And she said, oh, no, you don't do any of that. And I said, why? She said, well, if you can make it on your own, wait a year. She said, wait a year because, just in case, you fail and you're back home. Well, guess what? I ended up back home after my divorce with 2 kids because dad took care of the kids and dad was the volunteer at school and dad was the one who took them to, sports and I got lucky in that respect. But no, I wasn't home in the first year. Um, and then when I was living on my own, nothing was private. I mean, she would just drop by whenever she felt like it. Um, she wanted me to call her every day when I got home from work to make sure that I got home safe, because I wasn't capable of doing that on my own without her, giving me the seal of approval. Um, yeah, I mean, my life was dysfunctional. It was, at 58, I'm growing up, you know? I'm finding myself. What do I like to eat? What do I like to drink? Well, we'll get to that because I'm nowhere near that discussion yet. So here we are, the sperm donor. We met, and he was in the military. He lived on a ship. I had a job and benefits, and I had a home and, a car that was paid off. And he knew a good thing when he saw it, and, let's get married, which I never should have married him. He wasn't as smart. When I could handle tools better than he could, everything he touched he ruined. I had to fix it. No sense of humor. And I finally realized I didn't mean anything. And I was pregnant with my daughter. I came home and I lay down on the couch and I was exhausted. And he came home and he said, "What are you doing laying down? Dinner's not on the table." He says, "You're not diseased. You're only pregnant. Get off your ass and clean the house and get dinner ready." And I should have realized then that I was worthless. I was worthless to him. And had my daughter. I was pregnant with her when we moved into our home. And he took a lot of pride in moving in. We got moving into our home. We got the home because he had the VA loan. We got the home because I made the money. And at least I did get credit for that. So I cooked, I cleaned, I did the laundry, I did the yard. We had our son. The day of my amniocentesis, I said, "Can you please not," he was still in the military at that point, "Can you please beg for a day off and go with me?" No, my dad was the one who went with me and held my hand during the whole procedure. Baby daddy couldn't be bothered. And the morning I went into labor with my son, he said, "Okay, I'm going to work." And I said, "Do you have to? I'm going to have the baby today." He goes, "Yeah, that's nice. Call me later." He goes, "It was 18 hours with our daughter." He said, "I got all day." And I thought, okay. So baby boy was born less than 2 hours later. And he had issues and ended up in NICU. And he left. He had other things to do. He had to go home. He had to make sure he called the family, let everybody know what was going on. And my fears didn't mean anything. And I was getting ready to come home, and I had completely forgotten to pack a bag. So I called him and I said, "I need, a few things from home." And he's just like, "You've got to be kidding me." He said, "You didn't think of that before you left?" And I said, "No. I went into labor. I was early. I didn't carry full term with either child." So reluctantly, I put him out, so he had to search through my things to find, the little that I needed. And, um, okay, come on. Um, well, I'm not taking you home. We need to go to the grocery store. Oh, your baby's so cute. How old's your baby? Um, 26 hours old. What? 26 hours. I should have been home, but no. Um, and it was funny because we had a neighbor that had a baby not too long after, and oh, she was the queen on the throne. And the neighbor called and asked my husband if he could take some time off to come to the hospital to pick up the camera. He didn't want to fall asleep, with the camera in the room because somebody was going to steal it. And oh, by the way, she doesn't eat hospital food. She needs, A, B, C, D. Can you go pick up all these things that she needs, and this water and this juice? And oh, by the way, she needs her shampoo and her hairbrush. And yeah, the house is locked, but if you know, jump over the fence and you pry open this window, I mean, here's exactly what she needs. And, we'll just take care of that. Don't worry about the window. We'll take care of it when we get home. And he did all that. He was the hero for them. He did all that. But, to do that for his wife was, how dare I put him out, So, he started having an affair, which at that point I didn't care. I've realized that when you are in a loveless, abusive relationship, you lose feeling. You lose feeling and you lose your sexuality. At least I did. I didn't care. If you went a week, 6 weeks, it didn't make any difference to me. I didn't care. But he would tell me down to the day, down to the minute when the last time that, I would have sex with him. To the minute. It was like this running clock in his head. He knew. I was like, oh God, get it over with. And it's probably TMI, maybe, but maybe some of you will understand how I'm feeling. I never felt like my husband was making love to me. I felt like it was something he did to me for his pleasure, and then it was over. Oh, my baby doggy's here. He wants mommy's attention. Sorry, baby. Mommy's busy right now. So when he finally asked me for the divorce, I was kind of relieved. And the day he asked me for the divorce, it was I was standing in the shower, and it was the morning of my 20-year class reunion. And I wanted to go, and needless to say, we didn't make it that year. So he said he would stay through the holidays, for the children's sake. And right after the first of the year, Switzy, down. Down, baby. Mommy's busy. So he left, and I asked him if he was going to file for divorce. And he said no, he'd be back, and then we would have decisions to make. Well, I wasn't going to wait around. Hold on. Okay. Out. Out. See, he doesn't listen to me either. While he was gone, I filed for divorce. And I had him served while he was visiting his mom. And when he told me he was coming home, the lawyers all told me to get out of the house. And that's when I moved in with my mom and dad. And don't be with him alone, which I wasn't. And I had no intention of making it work. You know, he was going to stay here, and then he decided that he was going to pack up all the furniture that we had that he could take, and he was going to move back to be near his mom and dad, which was the best thing for me. Not for the kids, but it wouldn't matter anyway. He never came to visit. He only came to visit once, I think, and that was to show his new wife, you know, what a great, terrific dad he was. It's funny. It's amazing. Both men, my ex, the baby daddy, and now my most recent ex, George, both of them got married. Like, baby daddy got married quick, but George, within less than 6 months. I mean, it was crazy. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, baby daddy. Narcissist. It was all about him. Was he happy? Did I take care of him? He refused to communicate with me. I was not worthy of communication. That was the biggest argument in 10.5 years of marriage. Talk to me, please talk to me. I can't read your mind, please talk to me. I know the look on your face, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whether you don't feel good. I stuck by him through surgeries. I stuck by him through, a major illness and finding him on the floor almost dead. I said I would never leave him. Nobody was going to accuse me of leaving somebody who was now going to have a lifelong illness. And you weren't going to accuse me of, jumping ship when the going got tough. So when he came to me and he asked me for the divorce, it was like, hallelujah, I'm saved. You want to have an affair, go ahead. And the funny thing was, I became friends with the woman he was having the affair with because she told me that he told her we were already filing for divorce. The house was already up for sale. He taught her how to drive. He brought her kids into our home when we weren't there he taught the kids how to swim. And my kids were sitting there waiting for attention, and he couldn't be bothered, but he was playing daddy to her kids. Anyway, yeah, abuse. He would throw things at me. He would tell me I'm disgusting. Nobody would ever want you. He said, I don't have to worry about you raising the kids. He said, because you're going to be home. You're going to be a full-time mommy, because look at you. He said, you're disgusting. Nobody's going to want you. So, here I am, big dude, I'm out of here. I'm leaving and you're stuck. And as he was packing up to leave, my mother went to him and they were sharing shit about me. My mother, a woman who I should have trusted more than life itself. And he was leaving, and I had met someone online, and he came out to visit after baby daddy had moved away. And I didn't know that baby daddy got into my email and he was printing up these emails, and he printed everything up and he handed it to my mom, and he said, "This is your daughter." He said, "Read all this. Your daughter's disgusting." I mean, yeah, we had some, intimate talk back and forth, but I had filed for divorce. I was a single woman. We weren't sleeping together. I had already moved out. I mean, what business was it of his? And Mom took it all and threw it in my face about how disgusting I was and how he was a saint. And, he told her point blank that he was leaving the kids with me only because she was there to watch over me. So I'm sure you all have ugly divorce stories. But this is the next phase from mom to baby daddy in the history of abuse. And here I am thinking that this man I married and I shared secrets with about my life would have had my back, and this is why I have trust issues. Could never trust my mom. She never had my back. And in my divorce, my mother did not have my back. My mother sided with baby daddy. So, 2 strikes. 2 strikes. And you don't think that's a kick in the ass? So, 21 minutes. That's enough for one night. And, get my crap together and do another video next week. And work my way into the 3rd strike and why I think I'm out. So, love you all and have a great week this week. And just remember, when you see somebody walking down the street and they have scars, they could have scars, and they also could be recovering victims of abuse. I'm here to tell you the scars don't always show, but they're there. So, when you see somebody walking down the street, give them a smile. They may need it. Talk to y'all later. Loves. Bye-bye.